Dodgers have made a trade and cleared a roster spot. We'll tell you what that could mean. Why did the Dodgers free up that roster spot? Also, a former Dodger signed with the Angels today, and how the Dodgers dodged the ultimate bullet. We're also going to do a roster reset. We're going to go through every single transaction the Dodgers have made so far this offseason. And today is Sandy Koufax's 90th birthday. We're going to give you 10 mind-blowing stats about the left arm of God, one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history. That's coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warrior Parade. We got it, Parade. The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series. Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Monkey magic. Freeman hits the ball to right field. She is gone. Start the party, Los Angeles. Your Dodgers have won the World Series.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation? And
Live from the heart of Los Angeles, this is Dodgers Dugout Live with your host, Doug McKain.
what is up, Dodgers Nation? And welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain, credential member of the media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Also, this show is brought to you by the LA Sports Report. It's my new show about all LA sports. We're going to be going live on that a little later today. Also, gearup.LA. Go there. It's the official merch store of Dodgers Nation. And if you go there, you can get some of the best Dodgers t-shirts in the game, as well as other stuff, too. You got hoodies. You got all kinds of great stuff over there. And then don't forget, to join the Dodgers Nation Discord. You got Dodgers fans talking ball 24/7, 365. I got some stuff to drop in there a little later, so definitely join that. Today's Dodgers Nation, Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show. I asked you guys over on the X, if you had to win one game with everything on the line, which Dodgers pitcher are you giving the ball to? And right now, 30% say Sandy Koufax, 12% say Clayton Kershaw, 4% say Oral Hershiser, and 54% say Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Yes, recency bias is real. Yes, you would feel good about those guys in a big game, and Yamamoto just is coming off one of the all-time great performances there. All those complete games going on Game 6, Game 7, no days rest. So we'll talk about that a little later. This is a live show, so guys, drop those comments down below. Later in the show, during the 7th inning stretch, that's when I'll answer all your comments, questions. I'll look at all your hot takes about your Los Angeles Dodgers, so save those and drop those, and we'll see those in a little bit. But there is so much to get into, so much to talk about in the world of Dodger baseball, so let's get right into it.
Leading off, the hottest story in Dodger baseball.
All right, so first story today, the Dodgers have made a trade. And before anyone says, oh, it's not a big trade because of who it is, it's interesting nonetheless because there could be another reason for this trade. So the player that was traded from the Dodgers to the Marlins was Estuary Ruiz. So Esther Ruiz is now a Miami Marlin. And the Dodgers, they acquired a minor leaguer, a right-handed pitcher, just 18-year-old, he's Adriano Marrero, basically a lottery ticket type of pitcher. We'll talk about him more in a second here. But Esther Ruiz was always a high upside play. The Dodgers acquired him from the Oakland Athletics in early April. He was down in AAA for most of the season, and he was a good player for them. I mean, he really had a really solid season down for the AAA Oklahoma City Comets. He played 104 games, hit .303, had a .411 on base, slugged .514, clubbed 16 home runs, had 60 RBI, and had a team-leading 62 stolen bases. So a really, really nice year down in AAA, and he did get a chance to play in 19 games for the big club, for the Dodgers in the show, and in those games, he ends up hitting under 200, had a 190 batting average, had a 261 on base, slug 333, did hit one home run with the Los Angeles Dodgers, had 2 RBIs, stole 4 bases, was 4 for 4 on the base pass, and he was some of the, look, I mean, one of those guys, I remember I was joking with him, hey, could I beat you in a race if I started on third and you were starting at home? And he said no. He said that he would still beat me. So I'll never forget that moment with him just messing around on the field with Estuary Ruiz during the season. And look, I mean, he's a guy who's had high upside play. He's a guy that he really made a little bit of a name for himself as far as the show goes a couple seasons ago in 2023 when he led the American League with 67 stolen bases. But that was the only year that he had appeared in 30 or more games at the big league level. And that year, he hit 254, hit 5 home runs in 497 plate appearances, and he doesn't take walks. His walk rate, 4% walk rate. But, hey, he's got some tools, and that is he's got explosive speed on the base paths. And the Dodgers, they ended up getting a pitcher, Marrero, who is just 18 years old. He's 18 years old. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's out of Cuba. He pitched this year in the Dominican Summer League, and he wasn't included in the Miami Marlins list of top 30 prospects, but he did sign for a $350,000 bonus. So that's not nothing. That's nothing to sneeze at. He's got potential. I mean, he's a big dude, 6'3". He's got a 3-pitch mix. He throws a low 90s sinker. He throws a sweeper. He throws a changeup. He's got some pretty impressive lateral movement on that. So Baseball America, they have Marrero among the top 20 most intriguing pitching prospects in this year's amateur signing class. So Baseball America, they have Marrero, top 20 most intriguing pitching prospects for the amateur class. So he's a lottery ticket, there's no doubt about it, but there's no one random on the Dodgers. I always mention that, and we know that they certainly are going to put this guy through all the development to try to maximize him any way they possibly can. And, yeah, I mean, hey, once a Dodger, always a Dodger for Estuary Ruiz. He's getting his World Series ring, 19 games, and that's where that trade is at. Now, as far as why they made the trade, that's where I think it gets interesting to me. You look at the Dodgers' 40-man roster right now, and it sits at 39. So does this mean that there's another signing in the works? Of course, you expect them to sign Kike Hernandez at some point and then placing him on the 60-day IL. I think there's a decent chance, a more than decent chance, that they re-sign Evan Phillips and then he goes on the 60-day IL. But, hey, let the speculation run wild. I mean, Bo Bichette is still unsigned. Kyle Tucker is still unsigned. Cody Bellinger is still unsigned. The 3 big position players this offseason are still going through that free agency process, and until I see those 3 guys sign with other teams, I'm still going to think that the Dodgers have more than a 0% chance. I mean, you just look at Kyle Tucker's market right now, and the fact that he wants $375 to $400 million. He's coming off a year where he dealt with injuries. He wasn't that all-star level bat after the injury. He dealt with a finger injury, a calf injury. I mean, he was dealing with stuff. And he is a guy that you look at, and the more you look at his numbers and the more you look at the fact that his age, he's 28. He doesn't turn 29 until January 17th. So if he were to sign with the team, he'd be back off season next year at age 29 going to his age 30 season. And then, hey, if he comes off a fantastic season, there is a world where Kyle Tucker does sign a high AAV deal, high AAV per year, and then you opt out and you re-enter that market and you hopefully get that deal that you're looking for. So Bo Bichette, of course, would be the top of the list for me as far as guys that I'd be interested in. As far as you throw him at second base, he's a guy that he hits in the regular season, hits in the postseason. He's already said he's open to going to second base and third base eventually. I think is a possibility for him. So I definitely have a lot of intrigue towards Bo Bichette. I want to see Shohei Bichette as a Los Angeles Dodger. If you've been watching this show, I've been wanting to see that for years now. And then there's Cody Bellinger, where it's been quiet on his market. There's a lot of speculation that the Mets and the Yankees will ultimately be the two teams battling out for Bellinger's services. He had a much better year at Yankee Stadium, taking advantage of that short porch in left, where he had an OPS over 900 at Yankee Stadium, and he had an OPS around 700+ outside of Yankee Stadium. So he fared a lot better at Yankee Stadium than outside of Yankee Stadium. So that would be a reason, if you're the Pinstripes, to go and sign him. And right now you don't hear a lot of buzz about Cody Bellinger back to the Dodgers. So another signing, we did get a little bit of news here. A transaction. The Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, of California, of United States, of Western Hemisphere, of Earth, of Galaxy, of Universe, they signed Kirby Yates to a $5 million deal. This was reported by John Hammond of the New York Post. It's a 1-year contract. He did not have the best year with the Dodgers, but a couple years ago, it was really good. I mean, like, for Kirby Yates, did he work out with the Dodgers? I would say that you almost kind of put him in Craig Kimbrell territory from this sense. Kimbrell, they were giving him like $16 million after that trade with A.J. Pollock going to the White Sox, and they end up signing Kirby Yates for $13 million, and he was coming off a really, really good year. I mean, in 2024 with the Rangers, he had 33 saves. He had a 1.17 ERA, a 36% strikeout rate. You knew why the Dodgers signed him, because they thought that success was going to carry over, and you were going to get the high strikeout rate, the low ERA, a veteran, a guy that you could trust in big situations, a different look out of that bullpen with that splitter, the way that it comes at hitters. But it just didn't happen for him. I mean, he was on the injured list 3 times. He had hamstring strains. He had a lower back injury. He pitched in 41 1/3 innings and posted a 5.23 ERA, which is one of the worst of his career. The velocity on the 4-seamer was at 92.8 miles per hour. That was the lowest since 2013. The strikeout rate was still pretty decent at 29.6%, but it was the home runs. He gave up a 1.96 home runs per 9 average, and that's just not going to get it done. So I think for the Angels, you're hoping that he's healthy and that he can help you in some capacity. The reason why I put him in the Craig Kimbrell category is that as rough as it was at times for Craig Kimbrell, and mind you, Craig Kimbrell was a lot better for the Dodgers than Kirby Yates was, but they did eat innings. And Craig Kimbrell, in his time with L.A., he had a 3.75 ERA, which Kirby Yates would love to have that, and through 60 innings. And Kirby Yates, north of 5, 41 innings of work, and they needed that. They needed anything they could get with all the injuries they were dealing with at certain parts of the season. But what will Kirby Yates' legacy be with the Dodgers? How will he be remembered? I think that every time that I see Kirby Yates, I'm going to think of this, and that is a picture of Kirby, the Nintendo character, holding up a World Series trophy that's tattooed on his butt. I believe it's his left butt cheek. And here's this picture of Kike Hernandez, who looks like he's higher than Cody Bellinger on 420, smiling right next to it. And Kirby Yates, I can tell you, being inside that Dodgers clubhouse, man, he was just beloved by his teammates. They love Kirby Yates. The players, the manager, Dave Roberts loved him, the coaches. Even though he didn't have the impact that you had hoped he would have, man, was he beloved in that clubhouse. Everyone loved Kirby Yates. Everyone was pulling for him. I think that he definitely gave some of the younger guys some wisdom, and I think that rubbed off on him. But Kirby Yates is getting a World Series ring. Once a Dodger, always a Dodger. And it's because of the Dodgers and their success that he has a Kirby Nintendo character tattooed on that butt cheek. So Kirby Yates, hey, we'll see what happens with the Angels, but he's got a new team now, and he's got a new tattoo, and it was great to see him at the very least enjoy his time with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Okay, so next thing, I'm gonna get you guys caught up. On the 40-man roster and all the transactions that we've seen so far. So right now on the 40-man roster, we're going to do a quick run through right now. And we're going to go alphabetical, really. Anthony Bonda, Ben Kasparius, Edwin Diaz, Jack Dreyer, Paul Gervais, Tyler Glasnow, Brusdar Graterol, Edgardo Henriquez, right-handed pitcher Kyle Hurd, Will Klein, Landon Knack, Ronan Cobb, Bobby Miller, River Ryan, Roki Sasaki, Tanner Scott, Emmet Sheehan, Blake Snell, Brock Stewart, Gavin Stone, Blake Trinan, Alex Vesia, Justin Robleski, and Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Those are the pitchers on the 40-man. Then, of course, you have a two-way player, the unicorn, that's Shohei Ohtani. You've got two catchers, Will Smith and Dalton Rushing. Then you have 5 infielders, Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, Alex Freeland, and Miguel Rojas, who is back. Then you got 5 outfielders, Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pajes, Alex Call, Michael Ciani, and now Estuary Ruiz is off of the roster. So now 5 minus 1, 4 outfielders on that 40-man roster. So I promised you the Dodgers were going to add an outfielder, whether it be via trade, whether it be free agency. It is going to arrive in some capacity. We know that Kike Hernandez is an outfielder, but he's going to miss some time, and he's more of a bench piece, too, than an everyday player. And then you've got 3 infield outfielders. You've got Tommy Edman, Hae-Sung Kim, and I think you can qualify Ryan Ward as that. Of course, a first baseman and a corner outfielder. So that is the 40-man roster right now, 39 to be exact. That opens a spot for another move to be made, another signing. Also some DFA candidates in there if they need to make a move, but that is where the roster sits. Now, as far as a quick rundown of the transactions up until this point, let's start back in early November. November 2nd, Clayton Kershaw, Kike Hernandez, Miguel Rojas, Michael Conforto, Kirby Yates, Michael Kopech, and Andrew Heaney, they entered free agency. November 6th, Tony Gonsolin was DFA'd. Ryan Ward and Robinson Ortiz were added to the 40-man roster. Michael Grove was sent outright to the minors. November 6th also, Justin Dean was claimed off of waivers outright by the Giants. Alex Vesia's $3.65 million club option for the 2026 season was exercised. Max Muncy's $10 million club option for the 2026 season was picked up. November 12th, Ben Rortvedt was claimed off of waivers by the Reds. Hate to see Benny the Vet Rodriguez go, but we'll always love Benny Biceps in L.A. Then Tony Gonsolin, he was cleared from waivers. He elected through free agency. Then November 16th, Robinson Ortiz was traded to the Mariners for minor league pitcher Tyler Goff. Then November 18th, Ronan Cobb was added to the 40-man roster. November 21st, Evan Phillips and Nick Frasso were non-tenders. They were non-tendered candidates. They both were made free agents. Then December 4th, Miguel Rojas, he agreed to terms for a 1-year, $5.5 million deal. December 12th, Michael Ciani was claimed off of waivers from the Braves. Really a defense-first guy with some speed, plays the outfield. December 12th, Edwin Diaz signed for 3 years, $69 million. That is the Dodgers' big offseason signing so far, and that is where the Dodgers are at as far as transactions up until the Estuary Ruiz trade. So we're still going to get more moves. There's still going to be more activity. This is that dead period, and you guys know what I'm talking about. I know you guys are hanging out at the house. What are you guys doing with your time? Playing Switch 2? watching baseball movies. Let me know how you guys are spending this little break without Dodgers news. I'll get into that in the 7th inning stretch. So there is that. Now, next story we'll talk about really quick is Anthony Rendon. Anthony Rendon, Hollywood lifestyle. Anthony Rendon, he agreed to a restructured contract and will not return to the team. So he's not officially retiring. He's still going to count against the team's roster for the present, but the two sides agreed to go their separate ways. And the Angels, they can release him whenever they want, but he's going to get paid no matter what. Anthony Rendon, a guy that hates baseball, a guy that he wanted the Orange County lifestyle, I guess, over the Hollywood lifestyle. And this is one of the best bullet dodging moments, I think, in baseball history for the Dodgers. They went straight up Neo from the Matrix the way they dodged Anthony Rendon, because the Dodgers were interested in signing him, but they never officially offered him a contract because he made it known that he did not want to play in L.A. Because as it came out later, he famously said he did not want to experience the Hollywood lifestyle, right? I guess he didn't want to go to events and see celebrities and, hang out with Rob Lowe and high five Sandy Koufax and Magic Johnson and maybe be around celebrities or get that attention. For whatever reason, playing for Los Angeles didn't appeal to him. And then after that, the Dodgers would get a trade done for Mookie Betts and sign him to an extension. Now, of course, financially, they could have signed both of those players, but think about if they had given Rendon $245 million, Mookie Betts $365 million. Would they really have given Freddie $162 million? I mean, Shohei, you're always going to pay no matter what, but the baseball guys were smiling down on the Dodgers by helping them avoid Anthony Rendon. So Rendon is Rendon, and it still goes down as one of the best non-signings in baseball history. I mean, look at this. The Angels' payroll is $172 million. You're about $34 million down from where they paid in 2025, and you're still going to be paying this guy a chunk of change. Now, I was thinking about this as well. You look at some of the contracts that the Dodgers have. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, $325 million. They made him the highest paid pitcher as far as overall length of the contract in baseball history. You get Shohei Ohtani, a former Angel, and I said it the day that they signed it that this is going to go down as the greatest contract in sports history. And so far, the Dodgers are proving that. I mean, Shohei Ohtani could not play any more baseball for the final 8 years, and it would still go down as the greatest contract in sports history because the Dodgers have already made all the money back. It was $700 million, but in present day value with the deferrals, the fact that he deferred 97% of it, it was at around $463 million. They've already made all that money back on sponsorships and revenue and everything. So it's the gift that keeps on giving. It is the golden goose of the contracts. Now, the top 10 worst contracts I've got, the Angels have 3 of them. Starting at number 10, I got to go with the DH, the Dodgers DH, the designated hugger, Albert Pujols. Albert Pujols signed a 10-year, $240 million deal with the Angels, and it was 6.6 contract WAR. That's $36.4 million per WAR. It was a great move at the time, it felt like. He won 3 MVPs with the Cardinals, was the best player in the game at one point. But with the Angels, I mean, he wasn't terrible. I mean, he ended up hitting 222 home runs. He hit 500 and 600 with them for his career in 2014 and 2017. But he just was never that player. I mean, he ended up just slowing down considerably, was a bad base runner defensively. He took a hit, and in his time with the Angels, you were hoping that he would carry that franchise and be a face and there always been debate about how old he really is. Like, is he the guy from Bench Warmers that you see where he bribes the umpire and you're trying to basically make it seem like he's older than he is? But I don't think that is really important as far as his overall performance there. But the bottom line for Albert Pujols, his time with the Angels in Anaheim, from an above average hitter standpoint, OPS plus standpoint, he had some above average years. He wasn't all terrible, but the length of the contract just did not work out. So I think you got to have that one at number 10. At number 10 on the list of worst contracts ever. Then 9, Josh Hamilton on the Angels. 5 years, $125 million, ended with 2.8 contract WAR. That's $44.6 million per WAR. That was a bad deal. The 2008 home run derby, if you remember that was spectacular. I remember he had that 4 home run game in like 2011, 2012, won the MVP in 2010. But yeah, I mean, he just wasn't the same guy with the Angels as he was with the Rangers. So number 9, Yoenis Cespedes for the Mets, $110 million deal for 4 years, 2.2 contract WAR, $50 million per WAR. 7, David Wright of the Mets, 8 years, $138 million, ended with 2.6 contract WAR. It's $53.1 million per WAR. Then 6, I think Anthony Rendon is anywhere in the top 5. I think he's right there in the top 5. I think they got Rendon. I think you look at Miguel Cabrera, as good as he was. I mean, he ended up with 3.3 contract WAR after he signed that 8-year, $248 million deal. That's $75.2 million per contract WAR. So, yeah, I mean, the thing about Miguel Cabrera, there's always these warm and fuzzy feelings because of him getting to 3,000 and potentially being the last guy to hit 3,000. But in Detroit, for his entire time there in Detroit, yeah, he ends up not being the valuable player that they hoped he would be. I mean, I hate to put him on this list, really. But in front of him, you got Eric Hosmer, San Diego Padres. 8 years, $144 million. He was a bust. 0.9 WAR. That's $160 million cost per WAR. Steven Strasburg's on that list. 7 years, $245 million. 0.1 contract WAR. That's $2.5 billion cost per WAR. I mean, after he signed on for those 7 years, he made just 8 starts. 8 starts from 2020 to 2022. He had a thoracic outlet syndrome, which was too difficult for him to really come back with, and he ended up retiring. The Nationals still owe him $35 million for 2026, which is kind of crazy. Ryan Ward's on that list. 5 years, $125 million. Had a negative 1.9 contract WAR. It's as bad as you can get. And I think Chris Davis. I think it really is Anthony Rendon and Chris Davis are right there. I mean, Chris Davis, 7 years, $161 million. A negative 3.4 contract WAR. And he, of course, had one of the worst slumps that we've seen in baseball history when he went 0 for 54 in 62 plate appearances, which went from 2018 to 2019. I know you guys are probably thinking that Michael Conforto had a worse slump, but he didn't. And, yeah, those are some of the worst contracts in baseball history. And guess what? Guess what? No Dodgers on that list. No Dodgers on that list, right? I think Schmidt you could probably put there possibly on if you're going to do an expanded list, if you're going to kind of dive deep into an expanded list when Jason Schmidt signed a 3-year, $47 million. But, yeah, I mean, compared to those, that's a drop in the bucket. But, all right, guys, let's get to you. Let's get to you. I'm going to do an extended 7th-inning stretch. Looking for the funniest comments, looking for the hottest takes, ideas. That's coming up next on the 7th-inning stretch.
The 7th-inning stretch.
We got Soto and Lindor, big money, and can't stand each other. JF699. I'm trying to get more into that. Is that real? Because that seems like a pretty bad marriage. And we know that that both are high-priced players, and they're both under contract for a significant amount of time. So, yeah, they got to send them to marriage counseling or something. It's not looking good, though. I mean, that's you would think that they'd get along. I mean, I wonder what the beef is really about. I mean, geez. I guess being a New York Met will do that to an MFer, right? Who should we get for the last 40-man spot? We talked about that. Kevin Brown was a horrible contract. Patrick, I'm going to dispel that myth on another show, because that contract, when you look at kind of overall WAR and the fact that that Dodgers team wasn't really good at the time, I mean, Kevin Brown actually provided value that I think a lot of Dodgers fans, they always think because of the fact he was the first $100 million man that he was going to just be like that's why he was a bad contract. But the truth is that, I mean, it was kind of groundbreaking at the time, but Kevin Brown, when you look at his overall production when he was on the mound for the Dodgers, I mean, he definitely brought value for sure. Yeah. I'll never forget the private jet. Like, that was, I remember as a kid knowing that the private jet was a part of his contract. And I think the thing is, what makes the Kevin Brown contract feel worse is the fact that Randy Johnson signed with the Arizona Diamondbacks that same offseason on a 4-year, $52 million deal. And he would go on this incredible run. So, yeah, there's no doubt about that. But, all right, let's do some more. We've got Andrew Jones is the biggest Dodgers bust. Yeah, legend has it he's crushing like a box Krispy Kremes or something. But, no, Andrew Jones, man, he was out of shape, not ready to play, and that wasn't good. Tanner Scott is also a horrible contract. Hey, we'll see, Patrick. That's TBD. That's TBD. Trevor Bauer was a bust. I think that Trevor Bauer is kind of a unique circumstance, Sam, for sure. I think that absolutely when you look at the cost of WAR and the fact that they ended up paying him all the money they did, they didn't get the value that they hoped they would get. Let's put it that way. Keith Potter, D-Mac, you think the Angels took an insurance policy on Rendon? Do MLB's teams put insurance on players? Seems like a pretty move. That's actually a really good question. I mean, I think when you look at insurance for big contracts like that, you really can't do it in Major League Baseball because, I mean, there's no way to like determine the value of it. And the Angels, they didn't have any insurance on Anthony Rendon. I mean, they just didn't. I mean, I remember when that report came out and Rendon was just this big franchise get, and as far as the time frames on it, there was no insurance that they could get. And you would think that, look, I mean, when you have teams and the deductible for teams that purchase insurance, it usually doesn't span that long. It's usually in like the 60-day to a year range, 2-year range. And if you look at the premiums and the benefits on players' injury history, they kind of make their bed and they lie in it. So yeah, the Angels, they ended up getting that basically a lemon right there. I mean, they still owe him $38.6 million this season, and yeah. So Rendon's contract, it's been bad for sure. It's been probably, obviously it's so wild how Strasburg and Rendon end up being bad deals on that World Series team. So a lot of teams, they get that recency bias and they think that, oh, this player is going to come into our organization, we're going to have that same level of success, but injuries are a factor, and then players age and they fall into their primes, and that's a factor as well. Delino DeShields was a bust. Yep, he was. That's from Christopher. You would love to have that trade back and have Pedro Martinez. We've got Dodgers Dog 805. Brown was real good. Yeah, well, if you guys want, it's off day. I'll give you the whole Kevin Brown spiel. I did a video about it a couple years ago. We've got Happy New Year's, D-Mac. Appreciate your work. Hey, thank you so much. Hey, can you believe that? Almost 2026. Tazaria Wolf, thank you so much. Kevin Brown lost the 7th game of the Red Sox series due to complete the debacle. We've got signed Chico Herrera. Chico's, I really got to know him just a little bit over the years, seeing him at Dodger Stadium. great dude. Always has a big smile on his face. Team loves and respects him. Man, I think we're going to try to get him on the show. I actually interviewed him in Tokyo this year. And, man, he does a lot of work for this team. Of course, we're talking about the Dodgers. He works for the team. He catches bullpen sessions. And he was playing with the team during the COVID run when they would have those scrimmages. And maybe I might do like a video on that at some point. D-Mac, can I get a bruh? My coworker said cut Andy Pages and sign Rendon to develop him. Big Joe smash. Are you serious? What are they thinking there? Anthony Pages for Anthony Rendon? I mean, what is your friend? Who are your friends? Because your friends are always having the worst takes, the most ridiculous takes. And here's your bro.
Bruh.
I mean, just can't believe it. You want a double bro?
Bruh.
There you go. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. You need to educate your friends because they're always saying wild stuff. We've got Scott's contract is still in the making from Ray. Accepted. Bauer has been blackballed. That ship has been sailed from Blau K. Yeah, I mean, you would think. I actually tried to ask Scott Boras at the winter meetings about Julio Urias, but he wouldn't really give me much information on Julio Urias. So that'll be interesting to see if he gets another opportunity. He's still young. But, Bauer, Julio Urias haven't pitched in the show in a while now. Martin Troop, Happy New Year's. D-Mac Dodgers will be in the mix in 26. Three-peat. Bam. I love the sound. Three-peat. So I love that, man. So ready. Dodgers Nation, my number one YouTube channel watch. UEL Carter. Appreciate you. Love all you guys out there. You guys are my co-hosts. You make this show what it is. And this show in 2025 was the number one Dodgers podcast on audio form and on YouTube. And that's all thanks to you guys out there. Darren Dreifer didn't pan out as well. Yep. Danny Huffy, Brad Penny. Yes, the clubhouse. We got percentage. We get Bo Bichettes from Edwin. You know, they've been very close to the vest on that kind of stuff. I'd probably cap it at like 26%, something like that. You know what I mean? Maybe less. I've heard from an agent circles that they like Bichette more than Tucker and Bellinger, potentially. But I think that they would totally jump on a Kyle Tucker deal right away if he was looking to sign the deal we've talked about. High AAV per year, but you can opt out after every year. I think they would absolutely do that. But D-Mac, get Rachel Luba on the show, bruh. Nando, hey, I'm not opposed to that. Maybe we'll think about that. D-Mac, is Danny Duffy still in development? Yeah, Danny. That's the jersey. You guys want to give me a Christmas present? Give me a Danny Duffy jersey. I mean, he is the Loch Ness Monster, the Bigfoot of Dodger baseball. Like, I've heard about him. There's rumors that he exists, but I don't believe it. I don't know. Do you guys believe in Bigfoot? That could be a good segment. D-Mac, I got the Freddie Freeman Hallmark keepsake ornament for Christmas. Keith Potter, did you guys see whoever it was that got the ornament for Andy Pages and the catch with Kike Hernandez? I thought it was awesome. Whoever did that, that was great. That was awesome. That was hilarious stuff. We got some more here, guys. Extended 7th inning stretch. I love this. Rojas made Dave Roberts look like a genius. I think Dave Roberts made Dave Roberts look like a genius, to be honest, because Dave Roberts was the guy that insisted that Miguel Rojas was going to be put in that lineup and that Miguel Rojas was going to get an opportunity in Game 6 and 7. And just think of the moments that he had. I mean, Game 6, the double play. Game 7, not only the game-tying home run, which I've called the most important home run in Dodgers history, which I think a lot of people have said that since me, and I agree with everyone. And I said that right after the game because that was the difference between us talking about the three-peat, us talking about a dynasty, and potentially breaking it up. I mean, if Rojas doesn't hit that home run, is he back on the team? Is Kike going to be back? Would they really run it back? Would they trade Teo? Would they move off Muncy? I mean, they might consider blowing it up. Who knows? So it definitely was so impactful. But I think that the throw to Will Smith to get IKF at the plate and step on the home plate like he did, the presence of mind for Will Smith to do that, it's just uncanny stuff. But I agree. Alvarez, this one hits home. I like this. Alvaldez. Miss Dodger baseball. Killing time by watching baseball documentary by Ken Burns. Must watch for any Dodgers fans. Available on YouTube. Lots of Dodgers history. Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've seen it a couple times. I'd also recommend the Ken Burns doc on just Jackie Robinson. That is fantastic for sure. Is Bobby Miller ever going to get back to the show? MLB, I think so, and the show too. But I believe in Bobby. He's definitely down there on the pecking order for sure. There's no doubt about that. It's gonna be a while. It's going to require guys getting injured or him really outperforming. And who knows? I mean, he embraced his role in the bullpen, maybe a full off season, and he's got pretty electric stuff. And if he can just hone that craft and rear that back in, and maybe the bullpen is his future. Remember, all these elite relievers at one point, for the most part, were formerly starting pitchers. So I still think with that kind of stuff, you're always going to have a chance. And I'm excited to see what he can do, building off that. What's up, D-Mac? What's up, Mr. Classic 818? D-Mac, did you have lunch? I actually did not have lunch today. I did have some eggs and a Quest bar for breakfast, man. Did you have sushi again? No sushi. D-Mac, Kirby went to the Angels. He did. Bilal K, Dave Roberts' reaction after the Rojas 1-out, 9th inning home run should be the Dodgers Nation, bruh. Yes. I mean, I like the Kike one with the popsicle. I got to get that back, bruh. But that's a good nomination. Thank you, Bilal K. I've got my guy, producer Robert. He's cooking up the intro for next season, and it's gonna get you hyped. Let's put it that way. You guys think we should change the song? I think the song goes pretty hard, but let me know. We are headed into 2026. I love that. Alex Renteria, D-Mac, which Angels player is going to be the first to ask to see Kirby's tat? Alex Renteria. Hey, man, probably going to be in the showers, probably going to see it at the same time, but yeah, that's a good question. I don't know I don't know what would lead me to answer that, which I hope Bobby Miller becomes valuable trade bait. It's going to take a lot of work to get that. Happy New Year, D-Mac and your crew. Great show. Thanks, Dodgers Fanatic. I appreciate you rocking with us. You're the man, D-Mac. Thanks, Bilal. Trade him and Max for a young stud. Justin Wood, you know the answer to that is yes. I think that's definitely, I mean, they're going to make some trades. I think they still probably view Bobby Miller as almost reverting to a lottery ticket type piece, which is kind of wild when you think about it, and not in the sense that I think they still see the upside piece on him, but he's reverted a little bit. But the stuff he had a lot of improvements last year when he embraced that bullpen role. I still think that he has the stuff to be a big leaguer. And when you consider there's around 700 of those guys in the world, and there's 26 men on 30 rosters around the league, that's still saying something. I still believe that. I just think that for him, he's got to just have the confidence and have the consistency and find a way to not blow up in innings. But I still think that it's tantalizing. It's tantalizing. It's an intriguing upside. I still believe that he does that. Now, this is a comment of the show from Nando. Anthony Rendon hates Christmas. I like that. He was the Grinch for the Angels. Yeah, Anthony Rendon, man. I mean, I wonder if he's gonna just disappear from baseball, if because he did win a World Series, right? And there's those kind of moments, but his time with the Angels is gone. Now it's just so wild. I mean, he was basically paid almost $1 million per game. He played 257 games and made $245 million. Just the bust of all busts for the Angels. And you kind of my whole thing that made me really frustrated a couple years ago with Anthony Rendon was when he was pushing the idea that Major League Baseball needs to play less games. That 162 games is too many games. Yeah, I bet your fans wish that your contract had less years, because for someone to talk about less games that has missed so many games, I think it was pretty embarrassing for sure. And who knows what it means for the Angels? The Angels go out there. Maybe they try to get Anthony Rendon's replacement if he was ever going to play, but maybe making a move on a Nolan Arenado, bring him back to Southern California. Do they go after that type of player? Do they maybe if I was them, I'd probably enter the Cody Bellinger sweepstakes, bring a hometown guy home, and they kind of get the Dodgers leftovers from seasons past. So interesting to see what they do. But hey, it's addition by subtraction for sure with Anthony Rendon out of that clubhouse. Rendon was the Krampus of Anaheim this Xmas. Dodgers fanatic, the Christmas list went unmet. Bellinger, Bichette, and Skubal. Dodgers fanatic. Wow. Who are your parents? What is your relationship like with Santa Claus? Because that is a very intense list. You're asking for switch to a dirt bike, the Red Ryder BB gun. I mean, you're getting it all. Furbies. I mean, what was the big toy this year? I don't even know. We've got Edwin. We just had a meeting to plan out our spring training trip. My friend Noel Sanchez, Noise by Noel, will be going with me. And no, we do not have an official date on when pitchers and catchers report in Arizona. So we're still working on getting that information. And as soon as it is revealed, absolutely, we are going to get that. Let's see. I got some more here. And that's going to be, man, it's going to feel like short off seasons, right? It's going to be short off seasons for the Dodgers because of all the winning. Couple more here. We got my number one was Edwin, and they got him. There you go. Got him. We got sub Dodgers fan, sub Jonathan. We've got Bilal. One has to tip their hat to Trout putting up with staying on the Angels. I don't get it. I mean, the loyalty, you got to respect the loyalty, man. He's loyal. He's a very, very loyal guy. Stanley, do I know David Vassay? Yeah, I see David Vassay at the stadium. Talk to him sometimes. Great guy. I've been a fan of Dave Vassay since he was covering the Lakers back in the day. I'll never forget seeing him. I think I saw him like a Nike Town, a Derek Fisher event, and yeah, he was always cool, man. Dave Vassay's the man. Love me some DV. I think his going down the slide moment in Milwaukee, it always makes you laugh, man. He's the man. Baseball mind, why do you we got Keith Potter. We got left-handed hitting center fielder on the wish list, and that's it. Yeah, we'll talk more about that for sure. And I think that, hey, we talked about it. Go back and watch yesterday's show. That you definitely going to have that move made at some point, adding an outfielder. But Mario Landa, very happy New Year's Dodgers fan. Yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow, guys. I've got some New Year's resolutions for the Dodgers. We're going to drop on tomorrow's show. But, guys, we are running out of time. So let's get to the walk-off.
The walk-off.
Hits the ball to right field. She is gone!
Today for the walk-off, we're going to wish Sandy Koufax. Sandy Koufax, one of the greatest pitchers in the history of the sport, was born on this day on 1935, December 30th, 1935, in Brooklyn, New York. Sandy Koufax. Happy birthday to a pitcher who I still believe, if you needed to win one game, I would still take him over any pitcher in Major League Baseball. Just look at his performances in the World Series, going back-to-back and pitching the way that he did, just kind of running down some of his accomplishments as a pitcher. This guy was a gamer in the sense that you got the 4 no-hitters and one perfect game. You've got the World Series pedigree that he has with a team that just not an explosive offensive team. But I got some numbers for you that I think prove why he is the biggest big game pitcher, the best pitcher really as far as his peak, him and Clayton Kershaw in Dodgers history. So you look at that peak in the turnaround of his career from 1955 to 1960 when he was a bonus baby where teams had to keep players on their roster even when they weren't ready. He had a 4.10 ERA from 1955 to 1960. Strikeout rate at 22.5%. Then from 1961 to 1966, he went on the greatest run for any starting pitcher in that stretch. A 2.19 ERA, a 2.16 FIP, a 26.5 strikeout rate. He was absolutely incredible in his final 6 seasons. He made the All-Star every year. He led the National League in innings 2 times, complete games 2 times, shutouts 3 times, wins 3 times, ERA 5 times, ERA plus twice, FIP 6 times, WHIP 4 times, strikeouts 4 times, strikeout rate 5 times, hits per 9 innings 5 times, strikeout to walk ratio 3 times, and pitching WAR twice. He had almost 8 WAR more than any other pitcher during that time span. And he's one of just 9 pitchers in the live ball era since 1920 with multiple 10 WAR seasons. He had a 36 WAR output in his last 4 years. I mean, that's just absolutely astonishing. The second half of his career was absolutely unmatched. He tried to pitch beyond the end of his career when the arthritis in his elbow just wouldn't allow it. But here's what I always think about Sandy Koufax is if he had access to Dr. Neil Elatraj and he got surgery and he came back, there'd be no doubt that he'd be the GOAT. Like, he would be the GOAT as far as pitchers, not just for the Dodgers, but for all of Major League Baseball. When you look at the curveball, when you look at the explosive fastball, we have so many examples of guys that have come back where, yeah, it doesn't work out. But look at Shohei Ohtani come back and having electric stuff. I mean, Koufax, he threw almost 1,200 regular season innings over his last 4 years and put up a 36.3 WAR. The only pitchers in the live ball era to do better in any 4 seasons, in a 4-season stretch, Lefty Grove from 1929 to 1932. He did it 2 times. Lefty Grove was a baller. Randy Johnson, we talked about earlier, the big unit, 1999 to 2002. Pedro Martinez, 1997 to 2000. But nobody has come close to that final 4 seasons. It's just really wild. I mean, think about this. His last 4 seasons, a 36.3 WAR. The second closest was Cliff Lee, who put up a 20.2 in his 2011 to 2014 season. So, yeah, it is pretty incredible. Other stats, I think, that kind of jump out. He has got, 3 triple crowns in his career, 63, 65, and 66. He led all of Major League Baseball in 3 categories in an era where there was just 1 Cy Young. You didn't have 1 in the American League and the National League. He had a 382 strikeout season. And, yeah, he was so good at Dodgers Stadium. Yeah, he was incredible. I mean, just an absolute legend. But the most impressive thing, and going back to the poll question of the show, who would you want on the biggest stage? He had a .95 postseason ERA, a sub-1 postseason ERA. I mean, he made 8 career playoff appearances, 7 starts, all in the World Series, which back then you only had the World Series. And he threw 57 innings of .95 ERA. That remains the lowest ERA in history for any pitcher with at least 5 postseason starts, and the second lowest for a pitcher with 40-plus innings. He's only behind Mariano Rivera's .70, but he's a starter and not a closer. He was dominant, had 61 strikeouts in those 57 innings. He threw 4 complete games, had 2 shutouts. Opponents hit 180, had a .463 OPS, and he's a 2-time World Series MVP. I mean, think about this. Against the Yankees in 1963, he set a postseason record that has been tied or improved upon by 6 other pitchers. But at the time, he had 15 strikeouts in Game 2. And then he came back on 3 days rest in Game 4 to finish off a sweep of the Yankees. And then against the Twins in 1965, when he sat out Game 1 because it was Yom Kippur to observe the holiday, he lost in Game 2, but then came back with shutouts in Game 5 on 3 days rest, and then Game 7 on 2 days rest. He's the most recent of any pitcher, though, multiple shutouts in the World Series, and he's the only one to have 2 with a game score of 88 or better. So think about this. As great as Yamamoto was, what if I told you Yamamoto had a shutout in Game 5 and a shutout in Game 7. I mean, that what Sandy Koufax did against that Twins team, I still think makes him the greatest Dodgers postseason pitcher of all time. I really do. And I love Yamamoto. I love Oral Hershiser. I love all the greats. But, I mean, 2 World Series MVPs, I'm sticking with the left hand of God. They used to say that trying to hit him was like trying to drink coffee with a fork, man. Just crazy stuff. But $5 super chat from A. Cortez, $5. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. And, yep, guys, that is going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell if you want to support every single episode. Hit the like button and drop a comment down below. Also, join us a little later for the LA Sports Report talking Lakers. Rams, wow, the Rams slide is pretty bad, pretty depressing. And we'll talk some more Dodger baseball over there. But that is going to do it. We'll be back tomorrow on New Year's Eve. And remember that nothing, absolutely nothing, brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.